everyone, I am Miss Abby and I'm from the Walt Disney Boys and Girls Club. Today, I'll be showing you how to do a silk screen printing. So for this particular art lesson, these are the materials that you're going to need. First, you'll need your screen, your silk screen. And this is where what's going to be doing most of the work in terms of transferring the design onto any t-shirt you have at home, if it's a bag, if it's just a shirt, anything that's a material that you'd like to transfer a design onto using the screen printing technique. This is called a squeegee. This is going to help us to kind of deposit the ink onto the shirt through the screen. This is the ink that we're going to be using today. It's watercolor. We have tape, which is going to be very important as we try to transfer our pattern onto our screen. We also have our design. It's based I love Florida design. Keep in mind that whenever you're doing designs with words, you have to turn the image in the reverse. You have to reverse the image. So when you put it on your shirt, you're able to read it correctly. We have a stencil knife, and this is going to be for cutting out our design on our paper. We also have a piece of glass, but if you don't have a piece of glass at home, you can also cut it on tile, on the floor, anything safe that you won't cut through, okay? We have popsicle sticks for helping us to take the ink out of the jar, and then we have a hard paper surface to put in between the shirt so the ink doesn't bleed onto the back of the shirt. Okay, now that we know the materials that we need, let's go ahead and start the process. Now that we know the materials that we need, we're gonna first start by just picking a design that you like. For your first time, you wanna pick something just simple. The Love Florida, that's what I'm going to be cutting out. And I'm just going to be cutting out the darker areas, and I'm going to be leaving the white areas. So when I cut the dark areas out and we put it on the screen, the ink will pass through the areas that are cut out, and then you have your design. So I'm going to start by cutting it. It's on my glass. Always remember to keep the blade away from your hand. So let's start. So you just want to use the blade, and the blade's right here. Tilt it, and then you're just going to go down. So you're going to press down on the paper with the stencil knife. And as you're pressing down on the paper, it will start to just cut out your designs. Always be careful when you're dealing with images or letters that have a floating middle that you need, because it's white, it's not gray, so we're not trying to cut it out or get rid of it. You need to make a connector for it. So what I like to do is to just do one straight line across. 1 and 2. You go down. the areas that need to be cut, that you cut them. Just go back over, and if you see any areas that you just need to clean up the angles, you just go ahead and clean them up now before we move any further. And then you should have your design all cut out. So now the next step is to put our design that we've just cut out onto our screen. So what we're going to do is that we're going to lay our screen, our silk screen, flat. We're going to take our design. Be careful not to have any of the pieces fall off your design. You're going to put it on top of the silk screen. You're going to place it when you think that you are comfortable with how it's set on your screen. You're going to take tape, and basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be taping the paper onto the screen. Go ahead and tape. When you tape the image to the screen, it's allowing you to tape down your image, but it's also preventing any ink from passing through the screen. So you want to cover the face of the screen with tape so you don't have any ink passing through the areas you don't want them to pass through. Now, as you can see, we have our image taped down to our screen. So what we're going to be doing next is to prepare our shirt and the ink to start the process of screen printing. So our next step, we're going to take our t-shirt or whatever we're going to be printing on, and we're going to lay it flat on a surface, a hard surface like the table. You could even print on the floor, but whatever surface, it needs to be flat. You're going to take your time and you're just going to remove all the wrinkles from out the shirt. After you've done that, you're going to place your hard piece of paper inside the shirt so the ink doesn't transfer to the back of the shirt. So you're just going to take it. It could be a piece of paper, it could be a piece of cardboard, anything to prevent, anything that's flat and smooth that will prevent the ink from passing through onto the back of the shirt. You just want it in the center where you're going to be placing your design. Go ahead and just smooth that part out. Now that you've done that part, you're going to go ahead with your screen. So now that we have our design, you're going to flip it over and you're going to place it on top of the shirt where you'd like your design to be. Try to center it on the shirt as best as you can. And once you're done that aspect of it, you're going to go ahead and you're going to get your ink. I'm using warm red because Florida's really sunny, warm today. So it's warm red. You're going to take your popsicle stick and you're going to place the ink on top of the screen, right above where your design is. So you're going to place the ink. Please put a generous because you need to flood the screen before you pull it. You can always put back the remaining ink into the container if you didn't use all of it. And just kind of spread it out a bit so it's even when you pull your squeegee. Alright, take this, put it to the side. I have the squeegee. It's labeled fabric. So you're going to take the fabric side and you're going to put it onto the screen. So you're going to take it, hold it at a 45-degree angle. And what you're going to do is do one pull, really quick pull over the screen to flood it. So that's our first pull. Tap it to get off some of the excess ink. And then what you're going to do again is to take it, hold at a 45 degree, and you're just going to pull it over your design. You can also go from the sides and pull it over your design. When you think that you pull it enough and you think that you have enough ink, one more. Now, what you're going to do is to kind of lift the screen, but be careful not to get any ink on your shirt. We're gonna lift, and voila! That is your design. Now that we've completed the project, before you pick it up, it does need a little dry time. So just let it sit there for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and it should dry. If you like, you can put it underneath the fan, or you could just let it sit and hair dry, and then it will be ready to wear it.
A Black African American girl, and I want to be very detailed on this. So with that being said, I'm taking my time to work on it, so I will add a lot of colors to make it look very beautiful.
This is my sketchbook, my newest one. This is all 2020 drawings. Most of them are. I haven't found a name for this character yet, but I really took me a few hours because I had to do some erasing. Alright, and okay, these are my two characters that I made recently. Well, this one was the one I made recently, but it took a while because I had to do a lot of thinking about what I want the pose to be and the outfit designs for these two characters and the color scheme that I really wanted. I drew my favorite character from an anime called Haikyuu. I drew Oikawa Toru. He's one of my favorite characters, and he's eating his favorite snack, which is milk bread. Also, I'm not done, but I'm starting on my own manga, which is coming out very, very soon. And yeah, this took a few days, and I'm still not done with it because I'm waiting for a couple of my other friends to get done drawing their characters so I can put them on paper.
I'm mixing white with processed blue to become really good.
You done mixing it?
Yes.
Alright, let's go. You're gonna put it along here? Yeah, that's tap it on it. Kind of turn the cup, but kind of use the cup for. Yep. Yep. Turn it to a straight cup. And then scrape it out inside. And then. I'll make it okay. That side. Try to get as much as it as possible. A little bit more to the side. Alright. Careful not to that in the area. Because that's where most of the leaves are. Alright. These are pockets. They're kind of spread. Pull one. You holding it? Yeah. Ready? Go. Let this screen. Go. Tap. Let's go. Pull. Go. Ready? Ready? Go. One more. From the side. Ready? Come pull one more. One more time. You're gonna pull one more time. From the side and from the top, and then we're gonna remove it. Alright. One more from the top. Get it? Pull. Strong pull. Alright, that's it.
I'm scared.
Let's go. One.
Daddy, I colors on my and a pretty color. Then we did that. Different thing. Daddy, how we did it when we got this. So basically what I'm doing today is I'm weaving a strap. I'm spiral weaving. And this is what we did last time. We sewed and then we printed on so we're making a bag. So now I'm making a strap for the bag.
Well, I'm doing the same thing that Tristan is. I'm spiral weaving, and it's actually really fun. It just kind of strains your back sometimes because you're leaning forward, but it's actually really fun. So, yeah.
So most of the time when I'm drawing, I use references in order to sketch out what I'm about to draw. I like using dynamic poses so I can have a bigger variety when I start to draw. I have a few sketches up here. This is actually one of my favorite drawings that I ever did. See, it was at night when I made this, and at the time I was watching a horror game, and this kind of inspired this character. I didn't make a name for him just yet, but I will in the future. I have a lot more about the characters, but I still don't have names for them. And this is one of my recent sketches. Or as you can see.
Hey, it's Gabby here. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to show you guys how to draw a self-portrait. So, all you need to get started is a piece of paper, a pencil, an eraser, and a pen. Now, I'm going to be showing you how to do this on my whiteboard here. So I'll be telling you what you need as you go. So first thing I need you to pick up is your pencil. We're going to be doing a sketch first, and then we'll go over it with pen. So the first step to your self-portrait is to look at a picture of yourself. So you might have one on your phone, maybe you have a picture printed out like this. Anything will work, just so you can kind of keep that in mind while you're working on your picture. So we're going to start with a circle. So go ahead and take your pencil and really lightly draw a circle on your piece of paper. From there, we're going to go ahead and divide this circle into 3 parts. So I'm going to put a line going right down the middle of my circle, and then I'm also going to divide it this way as well. There we go. So it's kind of like I drew a plus sign right in the middle of the circle. Next thing I'm going to do is take this bottom section and divide it in half. So I'm going to do another line just right in the middle of that section. There we go. So it doesn't look like our face yet, but we're getting there. So it's kind of hard to picture, but this is the top part of the head. So the next thing we're going to do is add in the eye sockets, which are just going to be big circles. So I'm going to put 2 big circles in either one of these bottom sections, just sitting right on that line that we just made. So those are going to be like my eye sockets, which is kind of hard to picture right now, but it's going to help us out in a minute. From there, I got to give myself a jaw, this whole bottom half of my face. So I'm going to go ahead and bring down these lines and make like an oval face shape. That might be a little too oval. So when you do this step, it's very important to think about what kind of face shape do you have. Maybe your face shape is a little bit more square. Maybe it's a little more heart shaped. So you can kind of think about that when you look at your picture and try to decide what kind of shape face you have. This will work for me for now, but it's totally fine if you need to erase this a couple times until you get it the way that you think matches your face the best. Okay, so from here, I'm going to go ahead and give myself a nose. So the nose is going to go right at the bottom of the circle, right in this spot right here. So I'm going to show you how to draw a nose off to the side, and we'll do it smaller again in the part where the nose goes. So what I'm going to do is draw 2 parentheses, just like that. And then I'm going to do 2 curved lines. Just right next to either parentheses. From there, I'm going to bring like a little bump down in the middle. And then a curved line up top for like the top of the nose. It also helps too if you want to add a teeny bit more width to that line, like where the nostrils are. Okay, so there's our nose. So we're going to do that again, smaller, right here at the bottom of the circle. So I'm going to do 2 parentheses, and I have to do my 2 curved lines, and let it dip down, and then the top of my nose. My nose isn't perfectly centered, but it's okay. Okay, so next thing we got to do is our mouth. So our mouth is going to go right in the middle of the jawline. So that line that I made, that's actually not my mouth. That's just going to be my guideline because I want to be happy. I want to be smiling in my picture. So from here, I'm going to draw a smile right over that line. And I'm going to keep this pretty simple right now. I'll probably add some lips on it later, but for right now, I'm just going to leave it as a line with these 2 little curves on either side, kind of like little dimples. Okay, so we're getting somewhere here, starting to look a little bit more like a face, but our eyes do need a bit of work. So what I'm going to do is add leaf shapes in the middle of these eye sockets. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and give myself some eyebrows. This line right here is actually our brow line. So I'm going to draw my eyebrows right on there. And sometimes it helps too to look at your picture. Like my eyebrows are pretty far away from my eyes. I have a lot of space right here. Some people don't have that much space. So if your eyebrows are closer to your eyes, you can put them closer to your eyes, and that way your picture will look more like you. But mine are far up, so I'm going to put them way up here. That way it looks a little bit more like me. There we go. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and give myself a little hairstyle. And then we're going to work on erasing those unnecessary lines. So I have bangs, as you can see. So we got to give myself some bangs. So I'm going to pick a spot where my hair is going to part. Just add some swoopy bangs in there. I also forgot ears. Ears go from the eye line to where the nose is. So I'm just going to bring in like a little shape coming from the side from the eyes to where the nose is. There we go. And my hair, you always want your hair to lift off your head a little bit because your hair isn't pressed like right up against your head. It comes up just a little bit. So I'm going to make my hair kind of come up off my head a little bit. And my hair's wavy, so I got to add some waves. Okay, let's do a quick neck. And your neck is about the same size as your jaw. Okay, so now it's time to clean this up. I'm going to take my paper towel, and what I want you to do, you should be doing this on pencil, is you can take your eraser and start kind of erasing these unnecessary lines. So I don't need my little guidelines anymore. So I'm going to keep my mouth, erase that line I had behind it. We can erase this circle, we can erase all this stuff. I don't need those eye sockets anymore. I need this little line. Okay, so now we're just going to add a couple more little details in here. What I'm going to do, so I'm kind of reinforcing some of this because it may have gotten erased. There we go. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and give myself some eyelids. So these are just curved lines right on top of those leaf shapes that we already made. I also need to give myself the pupil in my eye. So I'm going to do 2 curved lines in the middle of those leaf shapes. This is important because some people, it's easy to have a tendency to do this, where you have your eye here and then you just do a circle. But if you actually look at the way that an eye looks, this pupil is more like this. It's hiding under the eyelid. So that's why you want to do curved lines to kind of make it look like there's a circle kind of hidden in the eye. Okay, so we got some eyes. My eyes are pretty dark, so I'm just going to add like a little reflection up here in the corner and go ahead and fill in all this space with my pencil. Like that. Next thing I'm going to do is give myself some lips. So I have my line here. And for lips, I'm going to start with that little dip right up at the top center of my lip. And then I'm just going to bring it down like this. And you can make your lips like as big or small as you want to, depending on how you feel like your lips are. Okay, so next thing I think we need here is some eyelashes. So I'm going to go right on the end of my eyes and just add these short little curved lines going up. And I'm just going to do like 3 on either side, keep it pretty simple. Besides this, we're almost done. I'm just gonna add a little more like texture to the hair. So I'm just gonna add some extra little lines in here. There we go. And if you want to give yourself some shoulders, you can add shoulders. You can add a little circle U shape here to make it look like you have a shirt on. Yeah. And that is pretty much it. If you want to go over your drawing with your pen, you can, or a marker, and then erase your pencil lines. If you still have a lot of pencil lines showing, you're welcome to do that. Or you can leave it as a pencil drawing. You can color this in. You can do whatever you would like with it. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys next time.
Hi, this is Pia from West Stanford, and today we're going to be painting an autumn tree. And for that we're going to need a canvas board, paintbrush, color white, the color blue, and we'll put the white in the bottom, the darkest blue on the top, and in the middle we'll put just a little bit of blue that we're going to mix with the white. And when we do a background, we'll start at the bottom and work our way up, and we will get a gradation. So the bottom will be the lightest, the top will be the darkest, but we will have some imperfections in our background, and that will give us a little bit of character in our painting. So now let's begin the tree trunk. For that you're going to need a softer brush, fill in your tree trunk and add some branches, spread them out if you're doing a horizontal layout, or you can do it vertical, which will be a taller tree. But if you're horizontal, spread those branches. And let's begin dabbing with our layers. The first color you're going to do is the red, the orange red, and then you're going to go onto your red and just keep dabbing around the tree branches. You can overlap over the branches. Then the next color will be your green. Pick your area that you want to be dark and add some green to it. Just keep dabbing. We're going to dab a lot and build layers. Next is your brown. Again, do a little more dabbing around the branches towards the inside, which will be your darker part of the tree. And now you can do the yellow, and with the yellow you're going to put on the outer edges of your branches and develop that. And just keep dabbing. Now you've done your first layer, go on to your second. Use your orangey red and keep adding that layer. Keep dabbing, dabbing, dabbing. There you go. And just keep adding layers. Where you want the darker area, develop your darker area. Add a little bit of green and brown here and there, because not every leaf turns that beautiful autumn red color. Some stay a little green, so you want to show some little bit of green in your painting. Now with your red, another layer. Just keep adding that layer sporadically. And you'll be doing a quick little stroke dab. Develop your lightest area. And now go back and keep adding those layers. dab away. Now let's move on to our grass. With a quick movement of your wrist, you're going to use your paintbrush to stroke up a quick flare, and you can add a little bit of brown to give it more dimension. And if you want to have even more dimension, just combine your brown, your green, and your yellow, and you can do the lightest part of the grass. Grass is very simple to make. And on mine, at the last minute, I decided to add some fallen leaves, and all that was just a quick little stroke of my red and yellow together. So that's how you can do the leaves falling on the floor like you see at the very beginning. And now we will do our branches. We're not going to do every branch on the tree, just a few to indicate that they're there. And you may want to, after you've done your branches, you may want to dab a little over them, so that way they're sort of, you can indicate that the leaves are over the branches by dabbing a little bit over them. Now to make your trunk have some highlights, we're going to mix the brown and the yellow. Pick the side that you like, and when you decide you're finished, you're finished.
Hey everyone, it's Miss Lee. I'm the art teacher at the East Altamont Club, and it's another episode of Lee's Lessons. Today I'm going to show you how to do some cool acrylic paintings using tape. So as you can see, I've got all my materials here. I've already put out paint onto my paper plate. I've got my paint brushes. I've got my cup with water, and I have a kind of a boxy acrylic, but you can really use anything for this. And then this is a little bowl I'm going to use to put it on top when I'm going to do the sides of the canvas that I have here. So what you want to do is you want to just take your masking tape, and you want to just go ahead and put that across and bring it down onto the sides and then tear it off. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. And I'm going to make different sections with my masking tape. Okay, so this one's going to come off the edge kind of weird. That probably wasn't a really good way to do it. Let me pick that one back up, because it's a lot harder if I'm doing it like that. So I'm going to put my masking tape down. Oh, and that will be kind of cool because it'll go on to two surfaces here. Okay, bring it onto the bottom. And like I said, you may have a canvas that is not a box like this. It might just be a flat canvas. You can get those at the dollar store. They're very inexpensive, and that's fine. So, and then what you would do is just tape to the edge or around to the back. Okay, so I'm taping these on. Okay, and I'm looking at it and I'm going, okay, I've got, 4 different sections. I'm gonna go ahead and do another section here. Tape it onto the bottom. Okay, and you wanna make sure to burnish. That means you wanna make sure that all your edges of your tape are pushed down. Okay, and I'm gonna do one more section over here. Oops, I need to start on my end here. Let's get that. I'm gonna do one more section over here. Oops, and I need to make sure that it is onto the other tape. All right, got it. And I'm gonna bring it around onto the bottom. Okay, then what you're gonna do is go ahead and take your, let me start with the turquoise, and I'm going to go ahead and paint. Okay, and I'm going to paint all the way on the side as well. Okay, and like I said, you may not have a box canvas like this. One it's called a canvas wrap, where it actually has sides to it. You may not have that, and that's fine. So you would just go straight off the edge of your canvas if it's just a flat canvas. But I thought, oh, what the heck? I'll go ahead and use the box canvas and paint onto the sides as well. That'd be pretty cool. Okay, now I can leave this flat color like this, or I can do what's called an ombre, and I can add a little bit of white to it, and then my color would kind of get lighter on one end. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some of the water off. I forgot to have a little tissue here, but I'm gonna create an ombre on there, okay? And add a little bit more of the blue. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna kind of make it look like it's a darker turquoise going to the lighter turquoise. Okay, and then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna repeat that all over your canvas, doing the different sections. And I'm not gonna do the sides just for the sake of time here and what I'm showing you. So I'm gonna put the pink in there. Okay, wipe off my brush here. Get all the water out, and me, I'm being bad and wiping it on my pants since I didn't put you guys want to have a paper towel with you. Okay, I'm going to do my green. All right. Wipe it off. Okay, and then I kind of like this bluey purple color here. So I'm going to put that in there. And then I'm going to actually use it on the opposite over here, on my little opposite. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and put pink back in there again on that very corner one. So it's kind of like a balanced color. You know what I mean? You can see all my little sections are kind of balanced and apart from each other. Okay, so then once your canvas is done, you just peel the tape off. Okay, so you can see once I peel the tape off, then I'm gonna have these really cool sections on my canvas. And you can wait for the paint to dry. It's really best to pull it off when it's not quite all the way dry, because you can see how straight those colors, how it'll pull off kind of straight there. And then you have like sort of this abstract kind of graphic looking piece that you can hang on the wall. Okay, isn't that cool? All right, and I've actually hit one of my green spots, but if this was dry, that would not be a problem. So you come up with this really cool kind of little graphic thing. You could, if you wanted to, go back in and paint this black, or you could go back in and put little dots in there or whatever. But working with tape and paint is a really fun thing to do, and really the canvas is the limit. You get that, sky's the limit. So have fun with it.